Babies, babies, oh babies, how are we today? All right. So, so something beautiful happened today because I was meeting with somebody and I actually got to discuss a whole lot of details about work and based on their 18 years of corporate experience and my complete lack of it. So it was fun. But before this, I actually want to kind of like maybe confess to something. Uh, I keep saying that jumping from place to place, moving and all that stuff is kind of like a lot of a lot of change that's happening a bit too fast. And it feels like I'm catching up to something. And I'm always kind of like intentionally trying to see if I can take a break, if I can calm down. And even though like the actual weeks are mellow, I still don't see the balance that I have between actual productive work or not. And the past week, 2 weeks, this month specifically has felt more from a research perspective, like what ground am I on? What are the things I left from back when I was in the old, like what did I leave behind and where did I come? And the people I've been meeting as well, the discussions I've been having, and the way I've been engaging with them, and my consistent need to not necessarily like want to be alone, even though I enjoy being alone. But most of the time, when I'm alone, I'm actually trying to 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 work on something, to get over something, to structure something, and to like build a certain logic in my mind. And I've got to a few good points, very beautiful points, and like daily epiphanies, kind of like every day, because everything, the storyline of my own reality has kind of like been adapting to the new thing that I'm building right now. So I'm also writing, and this week I'm writing, and it's basically because I'm working again, and we're discussing about like I'm working on a website with somebody, and I'm working from A to Z. So this is like something I'm very excited for, and I'm hoping it turns out to be something beautiful. But like again, like my experiences, like I was very open with her from the beginning about the past two experiences I've had with work. I'm very open to her from the beginning about what are the things that are kind of like that I am just generally just jump into and get excited about and passionate about. I still have to finish the course that I'm taking for programming in order for me to go back into like building my website, and I just there's no have to. I want to get it all done by like end of December. And it doesn't feel like pressure anymore because it feels like the past month has been me making peace with all the things that have happened over the past year, making peace with all the experiences that I've had, and it feels like they're coming out to the surface in a different way through the different interactions I'm having with these videos. On top of all of that, I'm like completely again like I the whole me being very honest about what's going on and why am I going through it and everything like this. So there's the so through this I was having a conversation today with my cousin, and she basically has been she we're all going through stuff, but like she has been working in corporate for about 18 years now, and she's dealt with all kinds of people when it comes to the professional level to the other side. Now I told her this like when I was back in West Africa when I had my restaurant and I was working over there, I was very much the absent-minded boss. Like any way I tried to change, I was always that kind of like manager that didn't really understand his employees, even though like at one like I understood the business maybe because I worked in the business and all that kind of stuff, but I never got to be good at how to actually like train more in a personal approach, like me literally actually being involved in the vision and involving them in the vision. It was more what I wanted and how I wanted it done, which I never thought was fair, especially when I realized how, like, I think by 2018, I sat with and I was like, what can I do for you guys to be kind of like in charge and like to not really like be stressed by me? And we tried different ways where I can get involved. And weirdly so, it was always like micromanagement from me or some form of like rejection I couldn't let go. It's just a whole lot of stuff you read about, man, but you never actually see it in yourself. Takes me back to the whole like how how Freud basically was the father of the id ego theory and all that shit, but he himself could not see how his ego always interfered with his work. He just couldn't see it. And so like all these experiences recently have been profound because it kind of like has been have been allowing me to like project, to see the part of me and kind of like deal with it and let it go and handle it and learn from it. And there's a personal learning and there's a professional learning and there's a social learning. And all these understandings are a must because what I want to do is I want to build a social platform. And the social platform that I'm working on is more geared towards like how I would want society to interact in a way where absent-minded fuckers like me are not really molded. Because when I realized that most of my interaction with everyone around me was more of a survival tactic, I realized that a lot of people don't even see that. And the only reason I got to see that is because of probably some immense stress I put on myself and just like completely like deviating from the what I wanted to do in my life and feeling like a whole lot of like it was like very much a downtime in life and me kind of like trying to find the light and like looking deeper into like what was going on and trying to understand how I got there and eventually kind of like everything like clicked. So I feel like this whole experience has been like just and but I don't know if you guys could notice, but like when I'm actually getting emotional, I don't really find words that express what I'm trying to say, even though my whole goal is to keep finding words and like to better understand the meaning of words. But it's no longer a fear and it's no longer a sense of anxiety. It's through the process of ownership, of like owning up to the behaviors that I did and the behaviors that I'm interacting with right now. And my attempt to actually move towards the better things, or at the very least towards my vision, which is making everything about me kind of like different, better understanding, observant, just like responsive. And it's funny because yesterday, like I was actually just chilling and I was watching like an anime, and then suddenly, like a clear vision of me kind of doing something in the future came onto me. And it was fun because, like, it's just like the imagination, my imagination is actually seeing certain truths that I have to adhere to. And back in the day when I was like becoming more aware of myself and getting over myself, my imagination was seeing the ugly truths, like, the futures that I didn't want. And that transition comes with like a whole lot of just things that you need to get over. And it's a different take on the concept of karma, right? Because like karma is literally like you reap what you sow, but also kind of like, if I'm sitting in one place and I want to leave, I kind of have to pay the toll of change, and that change is basically all the things that I never did before. I have to like kind of like pay for them now because I'm going to be doing them in the future, and that's a different karma that I'm kind of like going to have to deal with and all that stuff. So this video is basically for me to kind of explain the space of how when I actually, because like between April to like June I was fully, I think that's when I became like straight. That's when I arrived on the actual path. And over a course of like 2 months and a half, I coded my website. It didn't turn out to be as good as I wanted it to be, and it didn't work the way I wanted it to be. But I coded it. And then I deviated from that path. And that deviation was like first working with the e-commerce, and that's when I started this, and then working with like the business analysis and the marketing, the online marketing. And then both of them failed, and failed because of lack of experience, because of lack of readiness, because of many things. Like, my energy was not really attracting the people that are on point, but my energy attracted exactly what I wanted because my excitement and randomness attracted people that are easily swayed, which are not really the people that you want to like be working with because their emotions take the best of them. And then when I'm hyped up, they're hyped up. But then when they're not really hyped up, there's nothing I can do because I never really connected my thoughts to what they were like interacting with. And that's a heavy lesson to learn because you never learn it through trial and error. You learn it from, is it working? It's not fucking working. Abort, abort, abort. But anyways, what's funny is because the reason I was thinking about it is I was thinking about an expression that we have here in this country, and it's called "wuti min aini," which means like you're lower in my eyes than you were before. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking how our physical reality is very much, very much, very much influenced by our own perception of it. And that's basically the truth that I'm applying my entire theory of this life on. Like, I literally am applying my entire theory on us moving. Hi! I'm applying my entire theory on us moving, on me moving on that direction, like specifically only doing the things that I perceive to be the correct things to do and watching how my reality changes. And that expression, even though it was guided towards the guy that I actually lost respect for, right now I kind of like felt like this is the guy I'm most grateful for, and these guys that I failed with, because like when I first diverted from the path, I found myself in a very dark place. And over the past 4 months, even though I diverted on the path on purpose to learn different skills with different people, like everything I did basically showed me the error of my ways and pushed me back to the same road. So I think I'm actually very excited for what's happening right now and how things could be going. And I wanted to kind of like start today's sessions with this. And I feel like there's a lot of videos that are coming out now from me, but that's also emptying of the mind and eventually kind of like finding a place that where everything settles, and then I become more creative in what I am kind of like working on and the things that I would want to add to the work instead of just the experiences I'm having from stuff. So I'm looking forward to that to the more strategizing videos in the future. Thank you.